of Americans can claim more stimulus money starting today, and that amount is going to be up to $5,000. Take a look at this, $5,000 from IRS as tax season begins. Some may get a big payday. House Democrats are urging the IRS to clear their backlog, saying, listen, we got to get this taken care of. Millions of people have still not gotten their returns, and they're saying please start with the lowest income first. The simplest ones, get them out because people are still waiting. We have some good news that Congress is pushing the IRS to go ahead and address the backlog. House Democrats urge IRS to clear that backlog, and it says that IRS they are set to begin accepting 2021 income tax return on January 24th. Representative Eric Silverdown of California last week. HR and other House Democrats is urging the IRS Commissioner Taylor Redding to address the backlog of processing more than 6 million returns from last year that are still missing 6 million. That's quite a bit now, according to a letter sent by representatives. As of last month, the IRS have still failed to process 6.3 million individual returns and 2.3 million amended returns for 2020 tax year. In addition, the letter said that many taxpayers have still not received unemployment compensation, child tax credit payment, and economic impact payment, aka stimulus checks. Now, the backlog at the IRS is not only delaying refunds for millions of Americans to small businesses, but it also threatening taxpayers who may not be able to complete their mortgage paperwork or apply for student loans because they cannot provide the required tax transcript. What they said, now with the new tax filing season right around the corner, it's critical that the IRS address this backlog and ensure that it's prepared for upcoming season. Now, the IRS have planned the pandemic for many of these delays, and they were saying they were getting hit with the new stimulus checks, child tax credit, under income tax credit, and having to address the unemployment changes of these things. And they were saying they were understaffed, and all of these new provisions and new legislation from the pandemic have caused them to fall behind. Now, the letter urged the IRS to create a plan to effectively process the backlog in mailing tax returns, as well as to assist the taxpayer assistance service in the hiring and training of new taxpayers, advocate and advise the Congress of that plan. So they're saying put together a new plan, train more people, get a new system in place, and let us know because there's millions and millions of people still missing their returns. Now, if you're missing stimulus check, child tax credit, anything that you should have gotten there, saying that you can complain it on your taxes. That's the open starting in final. Today, January 25th, you can go ahead and do that. Now, there's a select group of people that could get the $5,000 bonus from IRS, and that's it for new parents in 2021. Take a look, you guys. $5,000 from IRS for a newborn. At least for some taxpayers who have the child family in 2021 could be in for an additional $5,000 from IRS visa economic impact payments, aka stimulus check, and also the child tax credit. Now, those payments were automatically sent to people in 2021 based on the previous tax return, but if a family ended the child, they could have no reason to report to the IRS until it was time to file their taxes. That means that they may not have received any of monthly child tax credit payments that they were eligible for, none of $1,400 stimulus payment for their dependent, Now, under child tax credit increased passed by Congress in 2021, parents with the children up to age 6 will receive the 3,600 and those 6 to 17, 3,000. Now, presuming that the parents fell within the income limit for stimulus and child tax credits, and their child joined the family before the start of 2022, then they could get up to $5,000 when they find that's $1,400 for the third economic impact payment or stimulus check, which must be claimed as recovery rebate now on your taxes, and for child tax credit amount of the $2,600 that total $5,000. So there you have it. If you have the baby in 2021, you could be entitled at additional $5,000 of the stimulus money that you missed out on. That you can complain now on the taxes. Now, in addition to that, speaking of taxes, there is going to be forms coming out for stimulus checks and the child tax credits. You're gonna want to hold on to those for your taxes. Let's go ahead and take a look. A woman asked, when it comes to your finances, the last 2 years have been inert. Stimulus payments, child tax credits, IRS filing deadlines move to backlog of taxes. When it comes to a processing, you need to keep an eye for some letters from the IRS. Gilmore, Jason Miller, CBI, Charlie Heidi is here to help us out. Charlie, tell us about these letters from the IRS. He answers, right now, taxpayers should be receiving 2 different letters. One letter is going to be regarding the advanced child tax credit payment that those of you remember they started to be deposited in taxpayers' bank accounts in July, and they ran through December. It was monthly advanced on this credit. The second letter that people are receiving, and this goes back to March of 2021. And that's where that third economic stimulus payment that people were receiving, which was $1,400 each for that payment. She said, so they got the letters in the mail. What do people need to know about this? He responded, number 1, you want to keep the letters, especially in the child tax credit, because that's it going to show you the number of payments you were received and the number of dependents that were used in the calculation. How about the stimulus payment? Then how is that going to work? So the stimulus payments, they are just sending this letter and tell you how much you receive. Now remember, on the stimulus, when they pass this, the narrow the range of when you got priced out on being eligible for this. So a lot of people who received the payment, it might have been paid off. They are looking at 92,090 returns because you haven't filed your 20 yet, and that's pre-pandemic, so you might not have been eligible for the third payment because your income was too high, and the income that we are talking about is for single 75,000. Adjusted across income for married filing charged 150,000, so you might have not received this third payment. You can complain it on this year's return because the income resure is based off your 2021 AGI, not 2019 or 20. The IRS is dealing with unprecedented backlog going all the way back to 2020 when, like any other business in the country, they shut down, they sent people home. That's what all the deadline was pushed in July, and they are still playing catch up. And it is millions of returns just from 2020 that are still being processed. Millions of the correspondence that have not been addressed. Like any other business, they are having problems keeping people or finding people, so What I'm encouraging everyone is gathering your information, start getting your return ready to go.